see. Oh.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Whimsy with a Z. I'm Ben and I'm here with exciting.
I'm good. I was rushing, man.
I know. Well, it's so funny. So I have no idea what to talk about this month. So I kind of just let it go for a week and then I got busy with episode 100 for Chasing the Whimsy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mark came on and then we were scheduling it and then you were like, I guess I can come on. So I'm like, yay. So I figure, like, let everybody like pick and choose like when they're ready to come on, like if they had anything specific to talk about.
Yeah.
So a little bit different. So because I don't know what else to ask you guys. So what have you been up to?
Not much. This weekend, I had a 4-day weekend. Cause I don't know, for some reason, like at my school, like whatever week Valentine's Day is,
Friday.
that Friday we don't have school for some reason.
That doesn't make any sense, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's like a teacher's type thing.
Like a teacher development day.
I think.
Oh, that's.
But
lame.
Valentine's Day just also happened to be that Friday. So I spent the day with my boyfriend and we were like painting and stuff.
Where'd you guys go to paint?
We painted his dog.
His live dog?
Yes. Well, we didn't paint on the dog, but we did we did a painting of the dog.
All right, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So painting of the dog. For whatever reason, I picture you two just sitting around in the living room, just like, oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was mine.
I like it.
Yeah. I didn't get a picture of my boyfriend's because he's not exactly the most artistic.
A little pat on the head. This is good job.
It was his idea to paint, and he knows that he's not very artistic.
Oh, that's so funny. What else did you guys do for Valentine's Day?
We were just chilling. We were watching movies and stuff, and he made me like flowers with like paper and wire and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I thought it was so cute.
That is cute.
Yeah.
Man's on a budget.
Hey, it's not a problem. It's not an issue.
Not at all, man. It's something.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna die.
Yeah. They're forever.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the day after, I had a Galentine's.
A Galentine's? What is that?
Like Valentine's, but I have like a little get together with all my friends, my gals.
Gal, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. Have you done it before, or is this the first year?
This is my first time doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. I just learned something. So what do you guys do?
We all went over to our one friend's house, and we all brought like snacks and sweets and stuff like that. We were just having fun. We were playing board games, card games, stuff like that,
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
How many girls are there?
There was me, and then 4 other of my friends. So that's 5 of us.
Do the other 4 have boyfriends or girlfriends?
No.
So that's why we have the okay. What did they do on Friday? Just be sad?
I guess.
They just waited for you. Is it a sleepover type scenario, or do you like teenagers do sleepovers anymore?
Well, we had a sleepover.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Galentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I will approve. What did you get him?
My boyfriend?
Yeah.
For Valentine's Day, I made him a card. And I cut out a heart and I like painted it with watercolor with like red, pink, and like purple, you know? And then I put it so like it was a heart on the card, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I wrote a note for him, stuff like that, and I colored it. And then I got him and I gave him a chocolate rose. Because boys can get flowers too.
Boys can get flowers too. We do like it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of some flowers. I'll take some flowers. All right. So just nice and it's a very calm. Do you guys ever like would you have preferred to have gone out to like a dinner or anything?
I mean, it would be nice, you know, but also neither of us have jobs. I'm trying to get one. Okay. I've applied to a couple places. He recently had an interview for a place, but like, you know, we don't have much monies.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm fine with either way. We're spending time together, you know?
All right. I'm curious to see if kids still do the like the more like traditional like flowers and candy, go out to dinner and then like movie or something afterwards.
Right. We've gone out before to eat and like to a movie.
It's a scam anyway. Going out to eat on Valentine's Day is a scam anyway. It's like who wants to be rushing and bumping into people, and it's too busy of a day to go out to eat.
Mm-hmm. So we stayed home, and then yesterday we went out to the movies. Because today is, I guess, technically our 2-year anniversary.
Oh, yay! Congratulations!
Thanks.
What movie we go see?
Well, I wanted to try and see Mufasa, but we were a little late. So we saw this other movie called Love Hurts, and it has 2 of the people that played as 2 of the kids from the Goonies. So I thought that was interesting.
Love Hurts. Why do I not know that movie? Hold on.
It just came out.
I've never even heard of this movie. I do a whole live stream on Mondays where I talk about movies and TV, and I've not seen this thing at all. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
How's school going?
Good. Yeah. It's school.
You're almost done. I keep bringing it up, and I'm sorry. You're almost done.
I'm almost done.
Like 4 months. No, like 3.5 months.
I'm scared.
Do you think about it at all? Like, are there moments throughout like the day where you just realize like this is one of the last times I'm going to be at this school?
Yeah.
Are you going to cry when you leave school?
Maybe.
Are you an emotional person?
It depends.
Get all your gals together. You guys are all leaving for the last time. No, you're going to cry. You're going to cry like a baby.
Streaming down my face. Hopefully I don't wear makeup that day.
What are you doing about driving?
Well, I took my permit test.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you. I took my permit test because you're able to do it at home, and I did that. And I got it. I passed. I still have to actually go to the DMV and get the physical thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're almost there. We're halfway there.
We're almost there.
Is anybody taking you out to drive a little bit? Does your boyfriend drive?
I haven't seen him drive.
Okay, just checking. I was gonna be like, hey, how come he's not helping out? But fair enough, they're good.
He also doesn't have a car.
Okay. Yeah, it's not real big on let's borrow the parents' car and let my girlfriend drive it. Well, you gotta get on your mom, man, and be like, I'm about to graduate. I'm an adult almost. I have my piece.
We have to try and find times where we don't have anything to do. It's just spare time. Let's just go out and just do it.
Right.
I mean, tomorrow she's off of work, so maybe then.
Deal. I'll text her and be like, we did the podcast. She needs to go driving. I need an update next month of how she's driving.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned you had you applied for a couple of places. You're looking for a job.
Yeah.
Where are we applying?
I've applied to Fry's, Cane's, Chick-fil-A, Del Taco. I think a couple other places I can't remember.
Have you heard back from anything?
A couple of them, they said no.
Which one said no? Some of the food places?
Fry's.
What the hell with them? I won't even go to Fry's anymore.
Fry's, Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
And then Cane's, they said that they're not they don't have any open spots for that specific they're not hiring for that specific spot at the time. That's what it said.
Well, keep trying. How do you find how are you finding these places to apply? Are you just going online and applying, or are you going in and getting applications?
I've been doing it online because that's what's easier.
Yeah, that's what everybody does now.
Yeah, and it's just places that are nearby.
You'll find one.
Yeah. Maybe.
You're gonna be graduating, no car, no job. You're like, I don't. Oh,
it's terrible.
Can you work at the same place your mom works?
I'm not sure.
In theory, you should be able to work at the same place your mom works. That would be interesting.
Maybe.
I don't know. Consider it. It's easy. It's easy. I'm familiar with the place that she works, and they used to hire a lot of people right out of high school, that college phase.
Yeah.
Call centers, in reality, call centers really are one of the best places because they're super easy. You just put on a headset and you just talk.
The amount that I hear my mom talking about how she's on the phone with some asshole.
Well, don't do the same job she's doing. Just do a job at the same place she does.
Right.
Yeah, it does suck. Well, you're going to get that anywhere you go, to be honest with you. You're going to work at Chick-fil-A, you're going to come home and you're going to be ranting about some guy who needed extra ketchup or something and threw it at you.
I'm so excited.
Right? Why are we growing up? Like none of it looks fun out there right now.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm having a day. I'm not gonna sugarcoat much of anything. It sucks out there, but you gotta try, and I know you'll do well. So
I hope so.
I don't know. I think I'll chat with your mom because she mentioned the other day. I tried to get a hold of her the other day, but our schedules kind of clashed for a second. I think her schedule changed a little bit. Yeah, I guess we're gonna get you a job. We're gonna find you one soon. We got this.
Because like when I graduate, oh yeah, I'm graduated high school. I'll be considered an adult, but I won't turn 18 until months later.
Most a lot of places still hire at 17.
Yeah, obviously, but it's like still kind of odd because like, oh, you're out of high school already, you're an adult. But legally, I'm not an adult.
So so how did you when did you start school that you get out of school before you're 18?
I started kindergarten when I was 4.
Well, so you're one of those like smart kids, smart babies.
No, no. It's because I was in California, the elementary that I was going to, you had to be 5 by like November or
Mhm.
something like that. And my birthday's in October, so they were just like, "Oh, okay, like that's fine."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's okay. Because my sister had a very similar situation when she was uh, starting school. Was uh, her birthday's the second, but the cutoff was like the first. So
mm-hmm.
like my grandma raised a bunch of hell and got her into school so that way she would be on track with the other
Yeah,
5-year-olds.
yeah.
All
And
right.
I've always been a bit younger than everyone.
But you're keeping up with everybody, so that's good.
Yeah, because like I've always been like a bit younger than everyone, and because of that, I've like since I was a baby, pretty
Mhm.
much. I've been a bit younger than everyone, and then I've always been around like other kids that are like my age and like walking, talking, fucking learning stuff in school. I've just like been right on it because I was trying to keep up with everybody else.
Right.
So
Good for you.
yeah.
I got held back in 4th grade.
Oh.
It's funny because I forgot about it for years. And then like 2 years ago, my son was talking to me and I was like, hey, just FYI, I got held back. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, completely spaced it. But yeah, I did an extra year of school. That's funny. All right.
Yeah.
What else is
I
going
mean,
on? How's the home life?
um,
How's, how are all the kids? The baby? Does your mom have a baby?
Giovanni.
Yes.
Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras.
Nobody even knows who it is.
God damn it. The baby. The baby, not whatever that was.
What's funny
Um,
is I'll take out the baby you just said and I'll move it over. Guess how's the baby doing?
well, today we had to put him in the bath because he shit all over himself.
As you do when you're a baby. How old is this baby now? Isn't he like 2? 1.
He's gonna be 2 in June.
Okay, so he's okay.
Yeah.
What else are you supposed to do? Shit on yourself. Like, man, to be 2 again, I'd love it.
Because
Go back.
literally, I was literally just chilling, laying down on my bed, and I hear him coming down the hallway towards my room, like just crying or whining. And I see him, I'm like, "Oh, what's wrong, baby?" And he's just crying. He's like, I'm like, "Oh, come here." Like he came to my room trying to tell me like, "Hey, help." And
I
then
gotta
I was like,
go.
"Oh." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you stink. You smell like shit." And so I was gonna go change him, and then come to find out, he shit himself. Like he just said it's everywhere. So I was like, "Oh, we're just gonna have to put you in the bath because
He
I'm
gave
not."
you all the he gave you all the signs. He's like, I gotta go. Someone help me.
It was terrible. It
Yeah.
was rancid.
Aren't you excited to have a baby one day?
No, I'm not. I'm not having any.
No?
No.
You don't so you don't like realist like for real, you don't plan on having kids?
Yeah. For real.
Like ever.
Ever.
Why not?
Mm-mm.
Well,
Like,
that's a fun question I should ask everybody.
cause you know how uh like when you're like little girls when they're younger, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a family. I'm gonna get married." Like, and then even when like girls my age, they try to imagine themselves like having babies when they're older and stuff like that, having a family. I can't imagine that for myself.
Well, good for you.
I'll have a
It's not
dog.
there you go. Babies aren't for everybody. Are there kids now? Like you're a senior. Are there other seniors out the next like 5 years of their life of like, I'm gonna graduate, me and Billy are gonna get married, we're gonna have a kid, we're gonna get a good job. You hear any of that talk? Do kids talk about having kids?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard like a couple friends or like people that I know in my classes talk about like, "Oh yeah, when I'm older, I want to have like a kid or two and stuff like that." And like they'll say that I can imagine it like, "Oh yeah, like you'd be a great mom, like you'd be a great parent." And then they'll ask me too, like, "Oh, are you gonna want any kids?" I'm like, "No,
You're like,
no,
absolutely not. They
have a dog."
stink, they shit themselves.
Yeah.
Like FYI, they shit themselves.
Hey, like what if I shit myself too? Like I'm not gonna know what to do with myself. I'm gonna throw myself in the bath. What?
Does your boyfriend want kids?
No.
Is this a discussion you guys have as teenagers?
We've I mean, me and him have had this conversation before.
And he's like, no, no kids too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I found out because like we've both said before, like even as just like not like for our future together, like just in a general sense, talking about like our own feelings of like kids, like we don't want them. And I found out that he said himself that even if he ever did want kids, he would either adopt or foster.
There you go.
And I said the exact same thing before, which was crazy. I've said the exact same thing. I'm dead set on not wanting any kids, but if I ever did, I would adopt or foster one.
Okay. There's something noble about that. There's a bunch of people who have kids that don't want kids and or aren't in good situations.
Mm-hmm. And if I were to ever be in a good place in my life and I ever wanted a kid, I would be able to provide a good life, a good home for said kid.
It's interesting that it's cool to know that you're at least thinking about like where you're at, where you're like, I don't want kids right now or at all. Eh,
Yeah.
good for you. It's interesting. Like, here's a fun fact: the best thing you can do to help your carbon footprint, right, is not have a kid. Like having a kid like so you as Alice, right? Your whole carbon footprint, you not having a kid basically means like you're not producing like that, like you're going to be responsible for that kid's carbon footprint. So you're just helping the earth, man. You're helping us get back to a cleaner and healthier earth.
I don't think the earth needs another one of me.
Would your mom say the same?
Maybe. I'm one of a kind.
You are one of a kind. We're all one of a kind.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Last week I had a meeting with a recruiter for the National Guard.
Are you considering going to the National Guard?
Yeah, possibly.
Why would you consider going to the National Guard?
It could help with school. And then also before I have, like just in a general sense, before I have thought about like military and stuff like that, but it's the military, so like, you know?
Right, but it's like the kind of easier military?
Yeah, the National Guard, it's like a part-time thing, basically.
So they're not shipping you off across the country. Like, okay, you're the one that jumps in when there's like a natural disaster and they need some little extra support.
Like if I wanted to go ahead and like if I wanted to do like active duty, basically I can choose whether or not I want to.
Okay.
And then also it can help like you take a test and that tells you like what sort of jobs you could do, and I could pick and choose like which ones I want to do.
So they'll help train you for a different like job type,
basically. And then it's only 1 weekend out of the month and then 2 weeks in the summer. And then I'd still be trained to be a soldier.
Do you have to go through like basic training?
Yeah. Like boot camp and stuff like that.
Okay, so you'll do the whole regular. Who are they associated with? Are they Army or Navy?
Army.
Okay, so you'll do a regular Army boot camp, and then when you're done, you go back home, and then you come back once a month and twice in the summer.
No, I leave home to go and do like whatever job. 1 weekend a month, and then 2 weeks during the summer. I will leave. And it's like you're able to like, it has flexibility with like, because the National Guard, they understand that you have like a life outside of that, and basically they just want to help you with you building your life. They can help with you buying a home. They can help with college, trade school. And you get federal and state benefits.
Okay. Right, because they're training you if needed to called up to serve. They need to make sure that you're taken care of. So they're investing into you. So we're gonna help you get a job and a home. So when we call you, you can come out and you got to do your thing.
And then you can choose like how.
Who was that?
That was my sister.
Hi, sister.
She came in here. She was gonna ask something. I don't know, but she was like, "Oh, she saw the computer." She was like, "Oh, never mind."
Oh, real quick side note: we should totally have you guys bring in somebody and let me just talk to them.
Yeah.
Give them the hard questions. Why aren't you driving yet, little girl? Okay, so yes.
The National Guard. What was I gonna say?
Fuck, I lost track of it too. You get a job. They're helping you with school. The type of jobs that you can pick.
Oh, so like, because you take it's the ASVAB,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you take that test, and then depending on like your score, it gives you like a range of like a bunch of different jobs that you can choose to do for like whatever like basically career that you want for your
Right.
future. And
So
then
based on your score, you're going to be working in a garage, or you're going to be working in an office, maybe doing some paperwork, or you're going to be working like intelligence.
yeah, and it goes for like what you want to do,
Okay.
like you, because you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then because you know like the full on army military stuff like that, like they tell you to go here and you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a choice. National Guard, you can stay because it's like state bound
Mm-hmm.
basically. Um, and you can choose whether or not if you want to go to somewhere else or if you want to stay.
Okay.
Because you can transfer yourself to whatever like other um, place is wherever else you want to go.
So you and your boyfriend are like, he gets a job in Florida. You could transfer to Florida and be a National Guard for Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't go to Florida. They got stuff happening all the time. You'll be working all the time.
I'm good.
You're like Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Something with some white sands. I don't care.
He likes fishing. And then my cousin also was thinking of going into the Air Force. And then she came along with me when I went to meet the recruiter for the National Guard. And she was just listening in, and then after they had told us both about all the information and stuff like that about it, she actually started considering that too, as like Air Force, it's like the Army and the military, you like have to go here and there, you don't have a choice.
Right.
And then being gone for like months on end, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She was also worried about that. So was her mom, you know.
Right.
And then my mom even told me, she was like, "Okay, don't be leaving me for like months and stuff like that." And with the National Guard, it's
You
not
just
like
go,
that.
you stay local. How long have you thought about that route, like the National Guard route?
Months.
Okay.
But I just like I wasn't too sure because I have my doubts.
Like on paper, it sounds like a solid plan, especially if you're coming out of high school and you don't have like a clear path of what you want to do.
Because
So
if I started like went ahead and started doing it, it would be a 3-year contract. So if I started now, and by the time I graduate, part of my contract would already be done with, and I'd just be going to school and stuff like that, you know.
mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, at some point, I would be going to boot camp, you know, to be trained to be a soldier. But it would be a 3-year contract, and if I wanted to like be done with it, I can choose to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted to continue, then I could also do that.
Right. And it's I don't know much about the military, but it's one of those things where if you stay in, like the longer you stay, the more benefits you get on the back end.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, it may or may not be your cup of tea, but you're like, if I stay in this thing in 20 years, I got a decent like pension and retirement or whatever. And it does help pay for school. Does it let you pick? Did you ask any of the questions about the school? Like, do they give you like X amount of dollars to go to school? So that way you like,
They would pay for it for
like
me to
all of it. So if you're like, I want to go to ASU and the most expensive schools I can find.
yeah, because it's like the Army military. like even a university would want for me to attend because it's the military, like that type deal.
They know they're going to get their money.
Yeah. And
I mean,
the National Guard wants you to, like, they want to help with you, like, starting your future and stuff like that,
Did any of the National Guard, were any of the National Guards here have to go to California to help with like the California fires? Like, did they borrow you guys?
I'm not sure, because I mean it's like because it's in state,
right? Well, because like every every once in a while, you have like those big hurricanes or those big fires and stuff. Sometimes they try to borrow resources from other neighboring states. Sometimes, so I didn't know if it's like one of those things where if there was another big natural disaster, they're like, we're going to go ahead and take you for 2 months because you're going to help fill sandbags and hand out waters and stuff. And I didn't know. I mean, even then, that would be kind of interesting. I mean,
because like you can choose, like you can volunteer.
Okay.
To like go to the different places and stuff like that.
So are you more like 50-50 on this, or are you probably a little bit higher? Like the schooling is nice?
Maybe a bit higher.
Do they, does the recruiter like really stress like you're not active military, so you're not going to be flown out to like Iraq or wherever?
Yeah, because there was actually at the recruiter's office, there was actually a guy there who was in the actual like full-on military and stuff like that. And even he was saying like it's much different than from that and the National Guard. Because military, army, right? You just get sent off.
Right. Like, it's your life.
Yeah. And then when he got to the National Guard, he like asked, he was like, oh, so like when are we going? Like when are they sending us off? And they're like, oh no, like you can choose. And he was like, what? He was like, what do you mean? And they're like, the people in the National Guard, they're like, yeah, like you can choose, like, He was like, hey, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Free school, help out with the house. And you want me to do what? A couple of days out of the year? Let's do it. I'm not very political. And I don't know if you are or not. But are there any worries with regards to like the military aspect of it in the government? Like, do you worry like? I
know I've thought about that too, because like
I don't know what kind of reach, like for example, like Trump, if he's like, I don't know what kind of reach he has, where he's just like, haha, you're signed up now, and by the way, you're no longer like, we're going to sign you up automatically for Navy SEALs.
I mean, I kind of thought about that because like it's just like a I don't know.
Yeah.
But like just it's a general thing to like think about.
I'm not trying to scare you off or anything. I'm just curious.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if I go ahead and start now, it'd be a 3-year contract. So if something is messed up by then, hey, my contract's up.
Right?
Hey.
Well, it'd be kind of nice if you do sign up and you can piggyback some of your last couple of months in high school to help off that 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you'll just be ahead of everybody else again. What does your boyfriend think about it?
I haven't told him about it yet.
You've been thinking about it for a couple of months. You went and talked to somebody, but you haven't told him yet.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't tell him either.
Because it's not like a 100% like said and done thing. But I mean, I've been pretty.
What if he was like, hey, I'm going to do it with you?
He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Does he listen to the podcast at all? Do you ever have him listen? Why not?
I don't know.
Fair enough. I like it. Okay. Well, hey, whatever you decide to do, you're steps ahead of probably most of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably all like conceptual, like, yeah, you just get out, you get a job, and you get a house, and you're like, it's not that easy. Like, there's steps in between. At least your game plan at least helps answer some of those problems.
Yeah.
Do you have any military in your family? Uncle Joe, he's in the Army. No,
I don't think so. No. But my mom said when she was younger, she thought about being like police officer type deal, and then my aunt, she's also thinking of joining like police force, whatever type shit.
Your mom mentioned a possible career change, and I don't remember what she said.
Yeah. Let me turn on my light. Yeah, because I mean, like, my mom, she's my parent, so she's the one that went with me to see the recruiter. And she was even saying, like, after we left, she was like, man, I might do this.
She's like, what? You give me a house? You give me into school?
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, it's out there, and it's weird because I don't know why more people don't do it. But
because, like, when people see the uniforms, and it's like the same thing as like the military army.
yeah.
They see the uniform, they're like, oh, I'm scared. But then if you actually like go up and you actually like talk to them, then you like see like the differences.
Right. All right. Well, that's interesting. That's cool. That's cool for you. You don't have a deadline of when you have to decide, right? You could do it technically at 20 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna obviously decide probably before 20, yes?
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah. What's holding you back from, like, yes? What are some of your concerns?
I don't know. I think maybe just like doubts in myself.
Oh, well, definitely don't do that. Like, let's see. I've only known you for like a handful of months.
Mm-hmm.
You seem pretty. You're an overachiever. You're start school early, and you do pretty well with everything else, it seems. Yeah, if you're gonna have any doubts with anything, fucking doubt the establishment instead.
But I mean, like, I
Teach you to drive.
think I should probably learn to drive before.
Somehow you get tested into like aviation, and you start flying jets instead. You're like, I can't drive a car. I can
fly a plane. Crazy.
Okay. You do your 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing pretty good. You and your man are doing pretty good. You're liking it. Do you consider going on like full time and picking in a different branch? Like, do you think you have that in you? Or you're just like, no, I'm just looking for some help, get my life back on track, and
I
I'll
thought
take
about
the easy stuff.
I thought about it like after like the contract would end for my first 3 years, whether or not I would like continue or like just be done with it.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't seem too bad of like continuing, right. You know?
Right.
But I can't say for sure because that would be like 3 years from now.
Right.
So I can't say exactly what would happen for like my thoughts for the future. Right. But it's not out of the question.
Okay. You're like, you're like, no, they helped me out with a bunch of stuff, man. Let's ride this pony, man. Let's get some more stuff. Get some more training. Yeah. Get a little extra money.
Yeah.
And then those government benefits, man, you can't go wrong with some of those. Do they have like a 401k plan? Like, I'm just curious, like I'm old, so I'm just looking at retirement. I'm just trying to figure out how to not work until 70. So I'm like, what kind of? I'm like, maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'll go.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like something that will help. Like if I continue it and I just keep getting that moolah.
Yeah, it sucks that that's what we have to work for. Is this for the moolah? But it does seem like it can be. If you go in for the right reasons.
Yeah, definitely. I'm of course going for the right reasons.
But it looks like it could be a pretty like rewarding like feeling to being able to have opportunities to push yourself to go to school and find a career that they help train you for. So, well, hey, I think I'm almost sold, but I'm sold because you sold me. But I don't know anything about the military or the National Guard. But like I said, on paper, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
And then, like looking at it, so like there's like some really harsh realities for like you, like my son, and even probably my daughter, is like you guys getting out of high school in your 20s. Like it's so hard for like the idea of you getting a house before you're 30 is almost impossible. And that's not anything against you, or it's just like this the way the situation is in the world says that you probably couldn't get a house until you're like 35 almost. Like, so when like if my son came up and was like, I'm considering it, I'm like, well, let's see what they're going to help pay for so I don't have to pay for it.
And they said like, yeah, because if I'd be going to college, they pay for it, and then if I like applied for any scholarships and stuff like that, that money would just go straight to me. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it sounds like a solid. What's interesting and what's like about you, and hopefully everybody else, the other kids listen, is that you're looking at all the options. You're like Del Taco, fries, fucking National Guard, and you're like, all right. I think that's super cool, to be honest with you. Like the idea that you're willing to go to two extremes where he's like, let's do this, man. Well, I'm proud of you for at least considering it. Like you're taking those steps. I feel bad because every month I'm like, what do you do for work and why aren't you driving?
My boyfriend actually got on my ass about it one time. And he was so valid for it. I couldn't even be mad at him. He was so valid for it. Because I've been saying for the longest time, like, I need to do this, I need to do that, but I haven't really done anything. Right. And then he knows that, and he got on my ass about it. He was getting upset on my behalf. He had good intentions. He had a good reason to be upset. It was valid. I'm not mad at him for it.
Right.
And he was like, okay, you're saying you need to do this, you want to do that, show me.
Right.
Because you haven't. And show me.
Right. You're all talk. You're all this.
Right. Well, because me and him have talked about having a future together, and like, you know, we're seniors in high school, you know, stuff's coming up, college, you know.
Right, life is going to catch up real quick with you guys.
Yeah, and so that's why it was valid for him to get on my ass about it.
He's like, I don't know if I want to be with a girl who just keeps procrastinating. Do something.
It was valid. It was so valid. And then what did I do the next freaking week or two? I took my permit test. I've been applying to jobs.
There you go. What's he doing to prepare for life after high school?
Well, he's gotten accepted to quite a few colleges already.
Oh, fuck him. I mean, good for him.
Right, good for him, but fuck you.
Don't throw all your success in my face.
Right, you have almost a 4.0. Fuck you.
Right? You're like, I don't know what pants to wear today. I don't know.
But yeah, he's gotten accepted to a few colleges and stuff like that. In state, out of state.
Okay.
He got a scholarship for one of them. And then last week he had an interview for one of the jobs that he applied to. He said he thinks it went well.
All right.
Got some prayers for him, you know.
There you go. I hope the best for him.
Yeah,
he just needs to leave you alone for a second.
Yeah. Like, stop yelling at me.
Well, to be fair, it worked. You got you applied for a job and you got your permit.
Yeah.
One of the colleges, Colorado. Do you go National Guard Colorado and follow him?
Maybe.
Have you guys thought about what happens if he goes different state?
I mean, we haven't talked about it, but I've myself, I've thought about it like, damn, what if he's all the way to fucking Iowa?
Right.
Literally. I don't know if I've said this before, but he like sent me a picture of like a couple of the colleges that he got accepted to, and one of them was in Iowa. And then I went immediately and Googled like flights and stuff like that.
Well, I think what was it either last month we talked or the month before? It was I think at one point you were like, "Fuck it, we ball."
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because you could technically National Guard in Colorado or Iowa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your path can still be one way.
Yeah. And still, of course, if I wanted to stay where I am for the time being, then I could do that.
Right. Well, I'm happy that you came on this month. Catch up with you. You got some stuff going, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you.
I even got my cap and gown.
Holy crap, that's already happening?
Yeah.
Don't you graduate in like May?
Yeah. I have my cap and gown already though.
Why are they giving that out so early?
Because we were supposed to put in our orders and stuff like that, like during like before New Year's and stuff like that. Whatever months that was, November, December. And my dad bought my cap and gown, he paid for it, stuff like that. And then I didn't even know that we were able to get them yet. And it was like January, beginning of February. Right. It was like January.
What do you do when you lose it?
Huh?
What do you do when you lose it? Or the kid shits on it?
Well,
I'm walking regardless.
Fit stain and all, I don't know. But yeah.
I got one last thing. I noticed that your ears are gauged.
Yeah.
This is totally random. Me and my sister talk about it every once in a while. How do you feel about the gauging process? Like, did you go from like a regular piercing and then just gradually go up?
Yeah.
What size are those, 4s or 2s?
00.
Nice. Gauging sucks.
It does.
It is. My sister got she gauged her ears too, and it's so funny because we get the tapers, and it's so funny. Everybody listening is like, "What the hell are they talking about?" But we got the tapers, and we can never do it ourselves, so we both have to like help each other, and then like it hurts so much.
Yeah. Because there's the studs,
Yeah,
the plugs, and there's tapers. Tapers, it's like the spiky ones, the spike ones for people that don't know. The spike looking ones, those ones, they're supposed to be like better, I guess, because it's like, oh, you can just like go at a slower pace.
Oh no, we push it all the way through because it looks dumb when you have a half an inch of it hanging
Yeah,
out.
but then you blow out your ear.
Well, we go
looks like a butthole.
We go slow. To be fair, we're only at 4s, so
right. But once you start getting to the bigger sizes, that shit hurts like a bitch. So I don't know.
That is crazy. Those zeros.
Yeah, my dad, he used to have gauges when he was younger, and he's impatient, and he blew out his earlobes for trying to rush and put the bigger sizes, and I didn't do that. I took my time.
And that's why they look great.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, normally your hair's down. I noticed them. I'm a big fan of a gauge.
Yeah. Because I did the tapers.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I would put them in. It was like halfway. It was just a little bit. It wasn't all the way, but it was enough to where it was like, it was stretching. I could feel it burn. And then I would have that in overnight. The next day, I would go ahead and I would just be able to push the rest through. And I did it I started gauging in 2020. So it was during quarantine and stuff like that.
You were 12? Okay.
Yeah. I was like 12, 13. 12. I was 12 when I started it.
So you go to like a Claire's or something? I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. I'm so sorry. That's kind of like a really shitty answer for me to say.
No, I mean, I've always had my ears pierced since I was like a couple months old as a baby. And then my mom's ex-fiance, or her fiance at the time, she had gauges. So, and she had like a kit, like to, if I wanted to start them, I was like, oh, fuck it, we ball, Yeah. Because I thought it would be cool. And so I started it, and it was fine. I liked it.
They are cool.
Yeah, I think that was my stepping stones to becoming the cool person that I am today.
You saw someone with gauges, you're like, I want that. And you're like, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, let me have it. I want it.
Until you do it, you're like, I don't want no more. Like, I had both ears pierced at one point, and then I used to have to take them out for work, which is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it was too much of a pain to keep taking them out every day. And this one ended up closing up, and I'm upset about it. And I thought about re-gauging it, but like it hurts.
Yeah. For me, it only started hurting when I got to like 6, I think.
Like I could just pierce it to a 4.
That's not right.
That's intense.
That's like a fucking hole puncher. Hey.
It is straight a hole puncher, man. That thing is no. And then I don't think if I ever took them out, I don't know if it heals as well, since I legit took out the skin versus stretching it.
Yeah.
So that would look weird too.
Yeah. And 00, it's like supposed to be like the biggest size that you could go if you ever wanted to just like take them out and let them go back to normal earrings. But I don't care for going back to normal earrings.
I grew up in a time where long hair, piercings, and tattoos were not like socially acceptable in a workplace. So that always kind of sucked. But it's interesting because for years, I told my boss in like 2008, she was like, you should take out your earrings and you should cut your hair. And I was like, I'm not going to. One, like, she was like kind of a mentor, so I didn't take any offense to it. But yeah, if your boss is like, take that shit out, you're like, but
yeah.
But I told her, I'm like, the writing's on the wall. Like it's going to become socially acceptable. And I had to write it out for a couple of years, but
yeah. For the National Guard, actually, I asked because it's like, you know, I have dyed hair, piercings, and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so like, you know, I have my colored hair and my piercings. Obviously, with colored hair, you're gonna need like normal color hair,
right?
And that's fine. It's whatever. But with my gauges, he said that I don't think I have to like completely get rid of them.
Right.
But probably like go down to a smaller size.
Right.
Hey.
Or get a plug that's not hollow, so you're not like hanging shit on it.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But as long as I get to keep them, man, I'm cool with that. And then for like going to jobs and stuff like that, just the 1 weekend a month,
right?
I would have to take my piercings out and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just 1 weekend, that's whatever.
It won't close up that much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you. Thanks for just hammering me with the gauging idea. Because it's relevant. I'm just going to just throw that out there, everybody. Sometimes kids at 12 want to
big earlobes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of weird stuff. We did ours with we went to Walmart and found a ear piercing gun, and then we took it apart so we can reuse the earring. So we just pierced a bunch of holes all over our heads. It is what it is. I think this one is an original, and then half of my industrial, 2 of them were from high school. So very cool. Yeah. So kids, you want to get your ears pierced? Get your ears pierced. You want to gauge them? Go slow because that stuff hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm super excited, like, for next month, to be honest with you. Like, I really want to see what you do.
Yeah.
Because like every month you get a little bit more and more. So I'm kind of curious to see where. So I think we're gonna do the podcast through May and wait for everybody to graduate. And then we'll take a small break and then do like let everybody do their summer. So like June, July. And I figure August we'll start back up again and call it like a season 2.
Right.
And bring everybody back. But I'm curious to see. I think we're all kind of curious to see what you do because you're the first out. And then in the next season, we get to see what you do as like an adult.
Yeah.
You're like, Danielle, don't go. Stay a kid. Don't go anywhere.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's horrible out here.
Yeah.
Stay 12, stay 13. Don't do anything. Real quick, Danielle thanks you and Pinky a lot for hanging out with her and talking with her.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send you a couple of messages. The podcast seems to be working. Dean and Danielle both kind of acknowledge and realize that they're a little bit more confident, a little bit easier for them to start talking to people a little bit. So have you noticed any growth in you since the podcast?
I guess with talking and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. You have a great weekend, great month, and then we'll hang out March. Is there anything going on in March? No. We should do a Mother's Day episode. Maybe. All right. You have a good rest of the week, and we'll hang out next month.